Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Friday, and that means tonight was Friday Night Smackdown. I do want to apologize for the late start here. Give me 1 second to mute this. There we go. Because I was having internet issues. At one point during, I want to say it was the Penta Finn Balor match, my internet just kept going in and out, in and out, in and out, and then I lost it for like 20 minutes. So I even didn't see the end of the show on time. I had to wait for it to come back. And then once the show was over, we had more internet issues with it going in and out, in and out, in and out. So that's why we're starting late, unfortunately, because I don't know why, have an unstable internet. It's not like we had bad weather today. The bad weather was yesterday. But we're good now. It's been up. I gave it. So once it came back and it wasn't like glitching, coming in and out, I gave it like 20 minutes. And so I'm pretty sure we're good for now. But with all of that, we got a Smackdown to talk about. Also, at the end of the broadcast, like even after we do the polls, we'll be doing spoilers for next week's Friday Night Smackdown, as they are giving the Smackdown crew Thanksgiving off. And so they're saying, hey, don't fly into a city on Thanksgiving. We'll just do a double taping. And they did a double taping tonight that, honestly, I've already read all the spoilers for it. Seems like an okay show. Just an okay show, if I'm going to be completely honest. As far as tonight's show does go, it was a very easy to watch show. Wouldn't call it great. Because I did not like the finish, and I did not like the way things went down. It was expected, but I did not like the way. And where did my other mic go? Anyways, I'll find that later. I did not like the way Carmelo Hayes and Bronson Reed ended. Because it's like, you know, like people celebrating, oh, Carmelo Hayes advanced in the tournament. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And it's like, really? He only advanced because Cody hit Reed with a crossroads and he couldn't get back in the ring. So it was a count out victory. And it was not like a count out to where Carmelo knocked him out at ringside. Carmelo had nothing at all, diddly squat to do with the finish. And it's like, now one thing that was great, one thing that was freaking badass amazing, Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough. I've said for a while, JD McDonough is very underrated as far as they use him as the fall guy for the Judgment Day. He sometimes comes off, not as much anymore, but like as a goob. But JD McDonough, maybe one of the best bell-to-bell overall wrestlers in WWE. Like, he's up there as one of the best. Throw him in there with anybody, he's going to get a good match out of them wrestlers. Like, back in the day, I think it was back in the day, they used to say, there were two guys. They're like, if you can't have a good match with this guy and this guy, you don't deserve to be in WWE. And I think it was X-Pac and Christian. Like, if X-Pac or Christian can't get a good match out of you, you don't deserve to be here. And I think JD McDonough is becoming that. Whether he's having a match with a guy his size, a guy bigger than, there's not really anybody smaller than him, or many, a guy bigger than him, different style people, he can just go in there and work with anybody. And that's what's great about JD McDonough. And there's a lot of wrestlers that can go in there and do that. Finn Balor, Dom's getting there. Dom's really good at working with different styles as well. But it's like McDonough consistently goes out there and just has banger matches. And he's becoming a guy that I feel like, you want to test an NXT wrestler? You want to say, hey, we think this guy's ready? Throw him in a match with JD on the main roster and see what happens. Let JD run him through the paces in a 8 to 10 minute match. That's just my thoughts and opinions on that. But with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that subscribe button. That way you know when we go live. That way you know when we post new videos. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, remember, if you want to support the channel in another way, you can hit the join button and become a channel member. Let me try not to burp in the mic. As a channel member, you get a badge next to your name, emotes, and emojis you can use in the live chat, and access to our graphics packages. Next week, you will get access to our AEW Full Gear graphics. I couldn't think of the show coming up this weekend or tomorrow, actually. Jeez, that is tomorrow. holy crap, our full gear graphics will be available for you guys till probably Monday or Tuesday. I'll put those up for member subscribers and for Patreon subscribers as well. Also, remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code PW Unlimited at checkout and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're trying to get into the end of that Simpsons season. You only got a week left and then it's all gone. I need to get back in there and finish it. I think we only have a couple pages left. I don't know about getting the extras. We're like 2 levels off of Peely Frink. And then I think I've almost got everything else in like the base. Maybe we do a Fortnite stream tomorrow. Maybe I see if Tyler wants to do a Fortnite stream with me tomorrow. And we try to level up some stuff in Fortnite. We'll see. I'm still hooked on Arc Raiders, though. I was playing that during Smackdown. Watch the Smackdown, take notes, and whenever they go to commercial, I'd do a quick run in Arc Raiders, and then I'd like hide myself when we come back from the break. It was the thing. I did like 2 or 3 runs. I didn't do much. I'm hooked on Arc Raiders, though. That game was fun. That's the people today. Again, being fuckers. If you've seen my stream from last night, you know that every run that I failed was not my fault. Because I just had someone come up on me and kill me. Not to my own doing or nothing. And I had one today where, and I know getting off topic here, but I come up on these 2 guys and I'm playing with the soundboard and my name is Jeff. And they're laughing and like, oh, this guy's funny. My name is Jeff, even though his name's Timmy. Because, you know, you can see my screen name. And they're like running together. And I don't know if they're actually friends playing together or if they're 2 guys that matched up, found each other in the game or whatever. I assume based off of what happened, there were 2 guys that matched up because they're there and they're like laughing and joking with each other and everything. And then one guy runs off and the other guy stands there in front of me. And I'm just like, well, I'm going to go this way. And he's like, I wouldn't do that. And I'm like, excuse me? He goes, sorry. And he goes to shoot me, but I run off and get away. And so I run into this building, run up, hide for a minute or 2. I'm like, okay, I think I'm good. So I come back down. I find the other guy and I go, hey, what was up with that guy? He tried to kill me. And the guy's like, what? No, I don't believe it. Are you lying to me to try and kill me? And all of a sudden the other guy comes up from behind, shoots that guy. And I'm like, see, I wasn't lying. And then he tries to shoot me. I kind of run away. Then the other guy tries to shoot at him, misses and shoots me, kills me. It was a whole freaking thing. Arc Raiders is wild. When you get into playing with people and just the whole proximity chat and the openness of it. It's crazy. Jordan says we only have next Saturday until the Simpsons season ends. Well, what time is the event? Because it's like, yeah, it goes to next Saturday. But how much into next Saturday? That's why I said Friday, like a week. Because it's like, really, you're not going to be doing much on Saturday other than the event, which the event's going to be crazy. And if you guys haven't seen anything for season 7, freaking get Marty freaking McFly. Yeah, McFly. That's crazy. McFly. Rock's coming back with a 7, it sounds like. Uma Thurman. What is she called? The Bride. I'm going to be honest. I've never seen Kill Bill. I've seen bits and pieces. Like, it'll be on TV and I'll catch the last 10, 20 minutes. Or I'll see the beginning of it coming on after something else. But I've never sat down and watched the full Kill Bill. Any of them. Was there 2 of them, right? I've never seen them. 2 p.m. Eastern, Jordan? That's still kind of early. But regardless of all of that, Arc Raiders is cool. Fortnite's doing some crazy things. But we're here to talk about Friday Night Smackdown, live from Denver, Colorado. We see live shots of the University of Colorado Stadium and the school's football mascot posing. We're welcomed to the show by Michael Cole, who's there with Corey Graves. We then see shots of Penta, Finn Balor, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair all arriving at the building. The Vision opens up the show after a big recap of everything that happened Monday on Raw. Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker are there with Paul Heyman. And I'm just going to say it right now. Putting Logan Paul in the Vision, and I hope this is he's in the Vision, not just they recruited him for War Games. Because Logan Paul in the Vision actually works perfect. Paul Heyman's vision of this was you take Seth Rollins, the super great, wise vet, and you have him mentor these young upstarts that are the future. And Logan is that, because I've said it multiple times. Logan is a great professional wrestler. Logan Paul, for all the stuff that he's done in the past, and he's had success in all other kinds of things, it's like you can say he may have been born for this professional wrestling stuff. He is just so good. How quickly he picked it all up. He's got the charisma. Yeah, his promos as a heel sometimes aren't the greatest. He was better as trying to be a babyface cutting heelish promos. It was weird. It's a weird thing. But you get him in a ring, and the things he can do, holy crap. And even at that, like, I feel like since he's been with Heyman, Breaker, and Reed, I've seen a slight shift to good in Logan that's maybe even kind of felt like he's got a little more confidence. Like, oh, Paul Heyman wants to work with me? Okay, I must be doing something right. You know what I mean? You know? And it's just like, him and Braun Breaker feel like they mesh really well together. So I want to see this continue past War Games, past Survivor Series, Logan Paul with the Vision. Now, Logan Paul's not going to be there every single week, which sucks. I wish he was more of a regular, especially if he's going to be in this group. But even at that, he needs to remain a part of this group. I don't want him. And if this was supposed to be the Austin Theory slot and he's taking it, fine. Cool, good. I think Austin Theory would have fit well in there, but I think Logan Paul fits even better. I think Logan Paul fits better in the Vision than Austin Theory would have. So where are we? Heyman starts talking about War Games. He said that at War Games, 5 of the crowd's heroes will be locked in a double cage, which actually double ring 1 cage, where Breaker would, quote, take a bite out of all of their asses. They'd also be locked in a double cage where they'd be tsunamied over and over again by the original tribal thief, Bronson Reed. And those 5 superstars would learn that you need an evil and violent strategy to win War Games, which led to Heyman giving the mic to Logan Paul. Before Paul can get far into his promo, though, he was interrupted by the Usos. With a mic in hand, Jay said that nobody wanted to hear what Paul had to say. Heyman interjected and said to Jay, pissed off Logan. I'm like, well, why couldn't Logan just say he was pissed off? That was weird. He said, I started the bloodline because I wanted to make sure that nobody would have to live on the streets. Heyman also pointed out the one thing that he taught them in the bloodline was that numbers always worked. It's a numbers game. And right now, the Vision have the numbers. He goes 1, 2, 3, 4. He counts himself for some reason. He goes, and 2 of you. 4-2, 4-2, and I'm like, well, actually, it's 4-3. And like the Usos are joking. Jimmy then noted they weren't showing up to this fight alone. Cody's music hits, but Cody doesn't come out. We hear the music, adrenaline in my soul, feeling like I'm out of control. Do it all to get them off their feet. But we don't see Cody, like I said. We then cut to Cody's bus, where our camera is running quickly up to the bus. And I'm like, how does this cameraman know that he's still at the bus? What's going on? Sometimes when stuff like this happens, it's like, it's not, it takes me out of it a little bit because the camera's too perfectly placed and set up, and you know what I mean? Anyways, the door opens on the bus. We see Drew McIntyre. He steps out of the bus. I didn't write down what he said. He said something, but he steps out of the bus. And all of a sudden, there's a laid out Cody Rhodes. He's like hanging out the door, bleeding from the mouth. Big ass fucking scar right here on his face. Like, holy shit, scar. And the Usos get all concerned. They run into the back to go check on Cody. Other people go check on Cody. They call for help. And that's how the segment ends. Very wild. And Michael Cole and Corey Graves are like, hey, Drew did nothing wrong here. Like, what? Like, Drew was banned from coming into the building, into the arena. And technically what he did to Cody was outside the building. So they were justifying Drew wasn't wrong. But it's like, when did they say Drew's not allowed in the building? Was that last week or this week? Because last week he showed up in the building, but was suspended 2 weeks ago. So what's the details of the suspension? Was it you're suspended and can't enter the building till further notice? Or was it you're suspended, whatever, and then after last week when he showed up, Nick Aldis added the don't enter my building till Survivor Series caveat? That's what I'd like to know. Because if that's the case, then shouldn't he have gotten in trouble for showing up last week? And if he was able to show up last week with no repercussions, then why couldn't he come in the building this week with no repercussions? You know what I mean? It's the little things that I'm nitpicking at that just take me out of the reality of it all. But as we move forward, Ilya Dragunov comes out for an open challenge, and I'm totally sitting here waiting for Ciampa to come out, even though I know Ciampa's got a match later. But I'm like, Ciampa going to try and get this match. He's going to get thwarted out of it again. Dragunov's going to tell him no or something, and nope. Judgment Day's music hits, and JD McDonough just walks out like nothing. And it's like, yeah, a Raw guy? And they tried to justify why he was there. They're like, you know, Dominic Mysterio's not here because he's in Mexico, which was weird because Chelsea didn't go to Mexico. I thought maybe they're like, oh, maybe they do a pre-tape with Chelsea last week, but then reading the spoilers for this week, Chelsea did a segment in front of the crowd. So I don't know. Why did Dom have to go to Mexico early, but not Chelsea? Maybe Dom had to do media. I don't know. But Dom's got a big tag match where he's teaming with El Grande tomorrow against Dragon Lee. I want to say it's Dragon Lee and Vikingo. But yeah, JD McDonough comes out, takes the open challenge, and they still have a hell of a match. Dragunov and McDonough lock up in the middle of the ring as the match kicks off. They then have a standoff where they reach the corner. McDonough then chopped at Dragunov. He was met with a hard boot to the face by the U.S. champion. And Dragunov knocked McDonough loopy with an enziguri to the head, but couldn't connect with the suplex as he was chopped in the chest against the ropes. McDonough gained the upper hand by throwing the champion hard into the middle rope, which sent him outside as he took a break early in this match. As they come back from the match, McDonough pummeled away on Dragunov with some hard strikes to the face. As well, there was some Kawada style kicks as well. Dragunov answered with some chops to McDonough, followed by a Constantine special, as both men struggled to get themselves back to their feet. Once McDonough and Dragunov did get back up, they traded more hard strikes until the champion connected with a German suplex. Actually, a couple of German suplexes that kept they kept McDonough down and Dragunov in control. Dragunov then smashed the back of the head of McDonough, and he did it repeatedly with some elbows until he finally hit him with a nice suplex. After another commercial break, the match continues as Dragunov nailed a superplex on McDonough. Upon impact, McDonough grabbed a little bit of Dragunov's hair and countered into a brainbuster for an incredibly close near fall. McDonough then headed to the top rope and missed a moonsault, which opened up for a big boot from Dragunov, followed by a standing Uranagi. Dragunov attempted to torpedo Moscow, and it was intercepted with a running knee from the Irishman. Challenger then took advantage with the moonsault and only got a 2 off of it, an incredible 2 count. Both men then got themselves to their feet as we come to the close of the match. Dragunov connected with the torpedo Moscow after absorbing a headbutt from McDonough. There was a power bomb, and then an H-bomb, and Dragunov would then pick up the victory in this great, hard-fought battle. Another awesome U.S. title open challenge by Ilya Dragunov, this time taken up by JD McDonough. I love this match. I thought this match was freaking amazing. And it's like, don't run it back next week. But if they run this match back again in like a month or so, they do this match again relatively soon, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't be against it. This was a hell of a match. So after a recap of Charlotte Flair joining the War Games skirmish on Raw, we then... Oh, this is where it was. We had a sit down with Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. And what there's no... Okay, so there was like the setup for the sit down. Sit down was later. Nick Aldis wasn't able to give us an update on Cody Rhodes after what happened as he confronted the Vision about it. I'm like, well, Cody's pretty good later. I don't know why you couldn't get an update yet. He seemed pretty fine later. Anyways, Aldis told Paul Heyman that Drew McIntyre was still persona non grata, even after being named to the Vision's War Game team. Heyman said that he'd respect Aldis's request, as McIntyre was apparently not at the building after what happened. Well, yeah, because we saw he attacks Cody, beats him up, runs away. Then as everyone's checking on Cody, he's in an SUV, drives up, rolls down the window, yells, "See you at War Games, Cody," and then takes off. Yeah, he left. We get another clip. The University of Colorado's football team, as it was mentioned that Bill Goldberg's son, Gage Goldberg, was part of the Buffaloes. Backstage, Ilya Dragunov was walking, licking his wounds after his U.S. title match, as Tama Tonga, once again, silently stared him down before walking off. So, Solo keeps saying, "I want the U.S. title back," but they keep teasing Tama Tonga going for it, but then he never tries to get the open challenge. What the shit? Ciampa then confronted Dragunov, told the champ that he was lucky that he and Gargano were busy with Fraxium tonight, or he would have been taking that open challenge. He would be the one holding the title. Dragunov then, called Ciampa a jackass. We had our first match of the night in the Last Time Is Now tournament. It was Carmelo Hayes versus Bronson Reed, and not a bad match, but it was a good match with a bad finish. I did not like the finish of this match. I thought it did Carmelo Hayes no favors. I thought it made Carmelo Hayes actually look weak. That, he can't beat Bronson Reed on his own. He needs help from Cody. Like, we knew something was going to happen like this. It was pretty obvious that somebody from the Cody team, I got a hair in my eye. Somebody from the Cody team was probably going to try and get involved. So I expected this. Even though expecting it, I didn't like it. So in the ring, Reed easily took down Hayes. And that was the thing. Reed easily was taking down Hayes multiple times. There was a fierce running chop as he continued the attack in the corner. Reed taunted Hayes, followed by another hard running chop and a headbutt on a downed opponent. Reed then attempted a powerbomb, but Hayes turned it into a powerbomb of his own for a 2. Hayes maintained the attack with a springboard DDT, followed by a drop kick to the outside. The Vision's Logan Paul and Braun Breaker then ran out from the back as they came down to support their buddy. After commercial break, Reed applied a rest hold on Hayes. He gained the upper hand during the commercial break. Also, I had an issue where, and I don't know if it was maybe my internet going in and out, but my VPN wouldn't stay connected properly. So I had to watch this on the USA Network with commercials. I didn't get the Netflix version of it. Hayes fought out of the hold, but got dropped with the back suplex by Reed for a 2. Reed tried another back suplex, but Hayes landed on his feet as Breaker created a distraction. Paul then pulled at Hayes' feet to give his fellow Vision member the assist. And I'm like, why are they helping Reed so much? He's pretty much beating the crap out of Carmelo Hayes. He doesn't need no help here. I guess they were trying to give Hayes something. Be like, oh, yeah, he was getting screwed before. Well, he looks weak. Anyways, again, he looked weak in the finish, not being able to beat Reed on his own. But back to the match. Like I said, Paul pulled at Hayes' feet to help his fellow Vision member. Hayes then avoided a senton from Reed and rolled him up for a near fall. Hayes at one point went for the first 48, but it was countered into a world's strongest slam, followed by a senton. Reed headed up top for a tsunami, but Hayes rolled out of the way at the last minute. Hayes then hit Reed with the first 48 as he leapt at the 3 members of the Vision at ringside. Back in the ring, Hayes leapt from the top rope into a nice DDT. This is a cool looking, perfect DDT. But yeah, after he went for the pin, he couldn't get enough of it. Hayes then went up to the top once again, but missed a nothing but net as he instead was cracked with a hard lariat by Reed. Outside the ring, Breaker was setting up Hayes for a super spear, but the Usos interrupted and fought Breaker and Paul at ringside. With the referee still distracted here, Cody Rhodes would emerge from the crowd, grab a Bronson Reed at ringside right in front of the announce table and hit him with the crossroads, knocking him out cold. The referee then starts to count, and he gets to about 8, and Reed slowly starts to stir. Gets to 9, and Reed's like a quarter of the way, almost halfway up. And the referee goes to count 10, and Reed falls down and says, I didn't make it. So Carmelo Hayes technically wins. But it's like, they did him no favors. And now he's going to get his ass beat by Gunther on Monday. There ain't no way he's beating Gunther. Carmelo Hayes advances. But, yeah. But after the match, Cody jumps on the announce table, grabs a microphone. He's got this big-ass gash on his head. It's all butterfly stitched up. And he cuts amazing, just fantastic promo full of heart and passion and girth and grit. This was fucking great. Rhodes took the microphone and said that he no longer wants to be done with Drew McIntyre. He thought he was done with them, but he ain't done with them anymore because of what he did. Rhodes calls out each member of the division. He said what did he say? Something like in no time period is a Steiner better than a Rhodes is one of the lines he used. He then turned his attention to Paul Heyman and stated that he'll beat his guys. He's like, it's all the same, Paul. You build them, and I'll keep beating them, or I'll beat them, something like that. It's like, hey, you built up Roman Reigns to a big star, even though he kind of was already anyways. And I beat him. You built up Brock Lesnar as a big star, and I beat him. And he does that. He looks in the camera and goes, and Brock Lesnar, who was the last guy to beat you here? It was me. And not once, but twice. He then goes on to state that at that Survivor Series, he's walking into War Games, not just for war, but because it's his birthright. And if you know, you know. Calling War Games his birthright is because his father created War Games. His father came up with the concept of War Games. Old Dusty Rhodes was the innovator that created War Games, the man that envisioned it and brought it to life in Jim Crockett Promotions. So Cody's like, it's my birthright to be in War Games. He said, Heyman, I'll see you at San Diego. But I didn't know justice. If you didn't see it, go watch this promo. Cody was freaking amazing. Might have been one of Cody's better promos all year, if not in a long time. And not to say that all those other promos are crap, but it was just the passion and the just moxie. And maybe I'm not using the right word there, but just everything that this had was spot on, perfect for I'm pissed, I want to beat some ass, and I'm coming for a fight kind of promo. This was aggression at its finest in word form. Anyways, Jessica Green's in the back, and she's like, hey, because she calls Alba A. Like, open the door, please. And she like hides in there because she saw Kiana James and Julia coming up, I guess. And Kiana James is like, have you seen Chelsea? Where's Chelsea? And she's like, I don't know. I know we got a celebration for her tonight, but I haven't seen her yet, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe she's in Mexico already or something like that. And they're like, fine, but we're going to find her. And Chelsea comes out and she goes, hey, I don't think this is the right night. I don't think we should go out there and do the celebration tonight, even though I am the greatest women's champion there is. And Alba Fyre's like, but we put a lot of time and money into this. She's like, well, we'll have to postpone it. Let's just postpone it. And Jade walks up and goes, greatest women's champion ever, huh? And Chelsea's just like, yeah, okay, bye. She runs off, and Jade's just like, that's a bold claim. So they're setting up something with both champions. It seemed like they set up for maybe a match soon down the line. I don't know where this is leading to, but it seems like we're going to get a Jade Chelsea match at some point. Whether it's for both titles, no titles, or whatnot. I don't know. But to me, this felt like a Jade Chelsea match is coming soon. And speaking about great promos, Sami Zayn cut a fucking amazing fiery promo as well. Hyping up his babyface team for Smackdown next week in the traditional Survivor Series match that's not taking place in Survivor Series. Sami Zayn said that we're an international team of greats with Rey Fenix, the Motor City Machine Guns, and Shinsuke Nakamura. He had remarks about all five men. He said one of the greatest tag teams to ever come from America. Talked about Rey Fenix being a great luchador. Nakamura being from Japan and how great he is and whatnot and so forth and whatnot. And my notes are all jumbled up here. Zayn said that his team was an international assembly of the best wrestlers you can find. So Sammy was great here. My notes don't do it justice. This is when my internet was first starting to go in and out. So that's why, like, from here to about, let's see, probably halfway through the Finn Penta match, my notes are kind of meh because my internet was going in and out. So like the DIY Fraxium match, I barely got notes of it. But speaking of that match was next. Fraxium started off fast as they stunned both Gargano and Ciampa. Frazier at one point hit a splash on Ciampa, but Gargano broke up the pin attempt as he then took out Axiom. And come back from a commercial break, and Frazier sped things up as only he can, hitting a running moonsault on Gargano for a near fall. A little bit later, there was a shatter machine from DIY for an incredibly close near fall. Frazier had his knees clipped by Ciampa as he tried to make the tag to Axiom. There's a dive from the top rope from the Masked Superstar that was met by a hard knee to the face from Ciampa as DIY connected with a nice double team move. Frazier managed to break up the pin with a splash. As they come towards the finish of the match, on the top rope, Axiom connected with an avalanche Spanish fly, while Frazier flew from the top to take out Ciampa. In the ensuing battle, I guess you would say here, the schmaz took place. Candice LeRae got on the apron and ripped off Axiom's mask. This allowed Gargano to get a sneaky little victory here and pick up the win for DIY. Again, like I said, I didn't see all this match in full because my internet was going in and out. But what I did see was pretty good, I felt like. Like, these two teams worked well together. Solid match, I would call it. So then this is where we see the sit-down conversation with Charlotte and Rhea that I thought was earlier, but that was more of like the setup. So they're sitting at this little table in this room. And basically Rhea's like, hey, I don't like you, but I respect you. And I know how great you are. And if I were to want to go to war with anybody, one of the people at the top of that list would be Charlotte Flair, because I know you're going to fight just like me. So I would love to have you on this team. And basically Charlotte stands up and is like, yeah, let's do it. So Charlotte's on the team. Cool. So then we had another Last Time Is Now tournament match. Finn Balor versus Penta. I think right before this. It was either right before this or right after this. No, it was after it. They showed us brackets for the first fucking time. And then they mentioned Sheamus is injured. He's out of the tournament. And LA Knight will wrestle another mystery opponent. I'll tell you who that is later. So Balor tried to attack Penta before the match even began, before his entrance was even over. But he was cut off in the pass instead as the match got underway. Balor attacked Penta in the corner, but he was met with a Hurricane Rana, followed by an elevated drop kick in the corner by the fearless masked man. After a commercial break, Penta landed a crossbody on Balor as both men tried to get themselves back up to their feet. At one point, Penta started to gain some steam with a clothesline and a super kick to a prone Balor against the middle turnbuckle. Once I finally got internet connection back and things stopped glitching on me, I saw Penta pull at Balor's arm with his signature arm breaker. But then he got a roll up for a near fall. Balor then hit the sling blade and a shotgun dropkick, which was the final setup for the coup de grace. Penta escaped and connected with a variation of a Penta driver, but only for a 2 count. Balor then pushed Penta into the corner, but found himself in the crosshairs of the Mexican Destroyer as Penta picked up the victory to advance in the Last Time Is Now tournament. So Penta now moves forward and will be facing. Let me pull up these brackets. We'll pull them up on the screen. Where is I screenshotted it. Where did I save it to? And there we go. As far as the brackets do go for this tournament, give me 2 seconds here. For some reason, it's not wanting to load. Why can't I see the brackets? on the stream. Oh, that's why. I had the wrong thing on. Okay. All right, as far as the brackets do go, see them here. So Jey Uso will face Rusev in the next round. We've got LA Knight facing a mystery opponent. Penta will face Solo Sikoa. I want to say that's Monday on Raw. And then Monday on Raw also, Gunther will face Carmelo Hayes. So those are the brackets for the last time is now tournament, where the winner then moves on and faces John Cena on December 13th in his final match. Oh, we don't need that on. So as we come down towards the end of this show, I'm not paying attention to the time. And I'm just like, oh, I wonder what else we have left on the show. And it's really just a kind of shitty main event segment. Like, I'm going to be completely honest. This kind of sucked. So the babyface team comes out, and it's Charlotte Flair, and it's Alexa Bliss, it's Io Sky, and it's Rhea Ripley. And Rhea's cutting this promo saying, you know, there's only 4 of us. War Games is 5. And here's my thing. I know Triple H loves War Games. And he tried to get Vince to do it forever, and Vince kept saying no, but yeah, screw it, you can do it in NXT and this, that, and whatnot. But what is one of the things that Triple H said when he took over from Vince? When Vince was gone, Triple H became the head booker. And what was one of the big things that he said he needed to do? He needed to get away from the gimmick pay-per-views, because Hell in a Cell, for example, is not it's October, we got to somehow build up to a Hell in a Cell match. No, Hell in a Cell is a style of match that is just, there's nothing left in a feud. You're going to war, and you need a fucking cell to end it. And so, like, I don't know. He then every year has done, for the last 3-4 years, Survivor Series War Games, Survivor Series War. So it's like the one thing that he said that he did not like at all. He does. Because War Games, just like Hell in a Cell, should not be it's November. We need a War Games match. We got to figure out how to get to a War Games match. No, it's one of those where it's like, there's a big group of people. None of them like each other. They're all kind of feuding. Throw them in War Games. So, yeah. I don't know. This men's War Games match, though, may be the fucking most star-studded War Games match, at least ever in WWE for sure. But maybe in any promotion that's done War Games style matches. So Ripley had the microphone first and said that she could hear what the Denver crowd was chanting for. She said, in Madison Square Garden, the Kabuki Warriors, Nia Jax, and Lax the Legend didn't realize how united this team really was. She said they are all ready to go into war together. Ripley pointed out her best friend, Io Sky, someone who would keep fighting even if they went down swinging. Ripley then turned her attention to Bliss and Flair, people who weren't the best of friends with her, but that she could trust in this fight. She said, however, there's only 4 of us. We need one more, ladies and gentlemen, our 5th and final member for War Games. And we hear, light it up, na 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 na, light it up, na 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 na, light it up. And out comes AJ Lee, but not before all the heels, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, and the Kabuki Warriors attack the baby faces in the ring. And AJ comes out. She skips out onto the ramp. She does the thing with her hands behind her back. And she's looking around. And meanwhile, this is like Jeff Hardy showing up in AEW, but got to do the dance before I can save Matt. AJ does the thing. She skips out there, does the look around like, oh, cool crowd, but doesn't realize her team's getting their ass beat. She then kind of sees it and kind of starts to go fast down the ramp, but then slows herself down and then speeds up again, only to be, boom, steamrolled by Becky Lynch. This was weird and awkward. Becky then throws her in the ring. Kabuki Warriors beat her ass, and all the baby faces are left laying as the heels stand tall, and essentially Becky joins the women's team. So, yeah, this kind of sucked. This was not good. Hey, guess who got it right? Everyone shit on Dave Meltzer when he put out that list of participants for War Games, men's and women's. So like Lash Legend AJ Lee and Becky, how do you get to that? How's last blah, 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 blah. He had it. Now, granted, the men's one was a little different, but hey, they had to pivot for some things because they pivoted for some things because of the Seth injury. Now, Logan Paul instead of Austin Theory, I don't know why that needed to be pivoted. But anyways. Everyone shitting on Dave when he put out those names early about 2 months ago. Well, basically, other than Seth and Austin Theory, they were all right. He had everybody else. He said Seth and Austin, but Seth not in because of injury. So, yeah. Anyways. Good SmackDown. Not a great end to the show. And yeah. Easy to watch, I would say. It did fly by. I will give him that. It did fly by. And with all of that, you know what I thought of the show? Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Friday night SmackDown as we go and refresh all of these polls. So as far as the Threads poll does go, 69% liked the show. 31% thought it was just all right. Looking at the X poll, 50% liked the show. 30% didn't like the show. And 20% thought it was just all right. As far as the community poll does go, 80% liked the show. 13% thought it was just all right. And 7% didn't like it. And then finally, the live poll. 78% liked the show. 11% thought it was just all right. And 11% didn't like it. Now, give me 2 seconds here. We're going to get into spoiler territory. Spoiler territory from tonight's double taping. Tonight in Denver, Colorado, WWE actually taped 2 nights of Friday Night SmackDown, so that way the crew can have Thanksgiving off next week. And well, got the results for you right here. As far as that show does go, again, spoiler warning. We got it up here on the screen. Spoiler warning. Next week, SmackDown, the night after Thanksgiving. Was promoted to feature, and shout out, the spoilers do come from Ringside News. Next week, SmackDown was promoted to feature a classic Survivor Series elimination match, Team Sami Zayn versus Team MFT. We also know in the Last Time Is Now tournament, Rusev will take on Jey Uso, and the LA Knight will take on a mystery opponent. As far as the show does go, The Miz was actually revealed as Sheamus's replacement in the tournament by SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis. And don't have too many notes on it, but R-Truth was involved in the segment. The Last Time Is Now tournament continues. LA Knight versus The Miz was on the card. The Miz was the replacement for Sheamus, as I just noted. And LA Knight did pick up the victory at advancing in the Last Time Is Now tournament. So with that, as we go back and look at our brackets, with that, LA Knight advances and will take on the winner of Jey Uso versus Rusev. We then get a backstage segment with the Kabuki Warriors, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and Becky Lynch. Chancellor says, Sheamus replacement. What happened? Where have you been, guy? WWE announced this afternoon that Sheamus suffered a shoulder injury and is not medically cleared and can't compete in the tournament. They announced that like 3-4 hours before SmackDown even went on the air. So let me get a War Games Advantage match where it's Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Where it's like, shouldn't that have been Rhea versus Asuka if Rhea's supposed to be the leader? Anyways, this was a rematch from WrestleMania a few years back. And in the end, Charlotte Flair defeated Asuka, which is always weird when the baby faces have the advantage in War Games. I don't like it. But also, I think we're getting a men's advantage match on Raw. So I assume the heels win that one because they like to do the, if one team has the heels with the advantage, the other team's got the baby faces with the advantage and vice versa. Then we had the Motor City Machine Guns, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Rey Fenix taking on Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Tala Tonga, and JC Mateo. This was a classic Survivor Series matchup. The main event featured Team Sami taking on the MFTs. Chris Sabin eliminated JC Mateo to score the first pinfall of the match, followed by Tama Tonga eliminating Shinsuke Nakamura. Rey Fenix evened things up by eliminating Tonga Loa. but Talatonga responded by eliminating both Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Tamatonga then eliminated Rey Fenix, leaving Sami Zayn to secure the elimination of Tamatonga. Talatonga was eliminated next, bringing the match to its final 2 members, with Solo Sikoa lastly eliminating Sami Zayn to pick up the win for the MFTs and becoming the sole survivor. So everybody gets eliminated except Solo. God damn. Solo, the solo winner. Then afterwards, the MFTs are confronted by the Wyatts. The Wyatts come down. They confront Solo Sikoa. Uncle Howdy makes his big return, grabs Solo, hits him with his sister Abigail, and leaves him laying to close the segment. What? This is weird, but okay. They're really building up to the MFTs versus the Wyatts, but it's like, okay, for what and when? The MFTs going for the tag titles? I guess. But this would have been better, as it's been built up better than War Games as far as like actually teams, or better than this Survivor Series traditional match. I don't know. But regardless, that is what happened on SmackDown for next week's show. Oh, I missed something. Where was it? There was a Chelsea Green segment that I missed. They did the Chelsea Green celebration and Jade came down. I know I read it earlier. Where is it? Is it not on these? Oh, here it was. Chelsea Green had her championship celebration. This comes after she rescheduled it from this week to next week, and Jade Cargill crashed the celebration. So that also took place as well. Get the spoiler warning off the screen. Why can't that button work? Let's just click it manually. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here at twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we will be back live tomorrow following AEW Full Gear. That should be a lot of fun. Then we're back on Monday for Monday Night Raw. So have a great weekend, guys, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.